Big Gigantos back again. Time to crack on with some more Transformers reviews now. I put a few Masters of the Universe ones up this week. I haven't done a lot of many videos for a while actually, so it's time to crack on and get a few done because I've got so much stuff now. I really need to be getting on with a few reviews. So I thought I'd kick this evening off with this guy. This is Autobot Tracks. Now the reason I've selected him is I've had him quite a while, but he was looking very shabby. And I didn't have him complete, so I don't like to review things unless I have them complete. A good friend of mine was able to find this for me. This is his original sticker sheet, so there's no repro labels with this guy. This is the original sheet, so everything here is as it was intended. So let's get on and have a look at him. Okay, so we start with him in his alt form, obviously. He is a Chevrolet Corvette C3. The C1 version of this car came out in the 1950s, and to this day they're currently on the C6 version. This is a C3, so this kind of design is still around today. Okay, but Tracks is the C3 version. Very well detailed, this figure. I do love the stickers on the front there as well. You've got to be very careful when you put these on that you line them up just right, because they're obviously in two separate halves. That's for the transformation. Very nice detail on this. Rubber wheels. There you can see a little bit of a kibble underneath in there, but nothing too bad. Autobot sticker on the back. Rub symbol on the top, which leads me to the fact that this is originally a diaclone mode, and as such you can see in here, let's pull that little, open that little flap. You kind of need to push it forward a bit actually. Then it'll open, and in there that's where you put your little diaclone driver man. I often wonder how they put these in and out. I'm assuming to get the little things out again you must have to hold them upside down and get the little figure out that way. But they must have been absolutely tiny little things, like the little things used to get with Zoids, the little men. But absolutely lovely detail on this. One of my favourites, that's for sure. The character himself was quite cocky and arrogant. Purely because he thought he was the most beautiful thing on wheels, and he absolutely loved to stay in his car mode. He'd rather spend most of his time like this than in his robot mode. But I did like the character. For those people in the UK, his accent and his voice, he sounds a little bit like Lloyd Grossman. People elsewhere in the world might not know who that is, but just Google Lloyd Grossman if you either on YouTube or something like that, if you want to hear how he sounds. He's like a celebrity chef, what's the word, critic I suppose you could say. But Tracks sounds a lot like him. Now on the back here there is room for this little section here. There's a little peg on the back, and that goes on there, so he does kind of have a power up mode really, like that. Two little missiles. They don't really fire. You just sort of, oh yes they do. Look at that. Do that again. Let's put that in there. Oh, stay in there. And oh yes, they do fire. Quite well, in fact. Oh, there you go. He comes with 4 of those little missiles. Obviously, I'll keep the other 2 in a bag. Don't take out everything. Oh, and I've just dropped one on the floor. I'll get that in a second. All right. So that's Tracks in his little power up mode. But when he's in his car mode, he tends to stay like this. Oh, no, I can't get it off. There we go. Right, that's just when he's in his car mode. He does have a third sort of... he's not really a triple changer, but he does have a kind of a half mode as well, which is this. If you look underneath here, just pull out this little section here. You've got these 2 little bits, and do the same again here. Okay, now this is where you have to be a little bit careful. Now this whole section has to come outwards. Okay, you can see there where that's going to come, but it's very there, so you kind of have to loosen the back section a bit to allow that to come up, because if you just try and pull it on its own, then you risk snapping this bit. Or this is only held in by a pin. This is very delicate, so be careful with this. Now it's a choice of whether you either put this section down there or up at the back. Personally, I like to have it up at the back because it acts like two little thrusters, I suppose. Put this one up there, and then have the wings kind of just bent back a little bit. Okay, now where did I put that other missile? Sorry about that. Right, let's put that back in there. Okay, now we can reattach that onto the back. Go on you go. There, and that is his flying car attack mode, I guess you'd say. Now he does have a handgun, which is this thing here. Now you notice on that there's a little peg, and underneath Tracks there's a little hole there, and you can attach that on there, and either he's got a gun underneath him to fire with, I suppose. You can attack that way, but what you can do with it is you can use it to balance him on something flat like that. Okay, the camera's not focused because I've set it up for being really close. I can't change it whilst I'm filming, but he will actually stay quite flat like that. Alright, so that's him in his sort of attack mode, really. I'm just going to adjust the focus. Bear with me just a second. Right, that's a bit better. You can see him there in his attack mode. Okay, again, like I said, it's a choice whether you have these back to the front or to the back. I prefer them to the back because they act as like I say, the kind of thrusters then. Alright, well let's just take him to his bot mode now. Let's take that off. You can actually leave those on. Now you essentially have the arms out already. Right, so now we're just going to swing these down here. Like that. Again, be very careful because this whole piece there, if you force it too much, you might snap the little pin that's holding it on. It's not very sturdy. Now on the side of the arms here, you'll see these little tabs just there. You slide them forward, out pops his little fist. Right, you might need to just grab that to put it down all the way. That's about as far as it goes. You can see a little bit of thumb detail on there. And do the same again on that side. Okay, now with the back section, just flip that back, and there's his head in there. Alright, so now I'm just going to move the camera up just a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's his head there. It's completely red. There's a little bit of detail on there, but it's just a red and white face. Now all that's left to do is just the leg section, and like I say, this comes in two parts. We flick it down. One of the trouble with a lot of these Tracks figures is sometimes the legs don't. One extends a little bit further than the other. I don't know why that happens. It seems to be a problem with a lot of them because this is the third version of this guy I've had, and they've all done the same thing. And one leg tends to be kind of looser than the other, but this one is the best out of the lot I've had, which is why I chose him to put the new stickers on. Alright, so just kind of split there, and split there. There we go. Right, now twist this whole thing around at the waist, like that. And then that releases these, which are his feet. And he stands there quite happily. Oops, things come up on there. I'll move the camera back a bit now, move it up again. There, okay, and now with the gun, like I say, his fists are very small, but you've got this kind of slot thing going on here, and you just slot it over the fist. Like that, and that gives you his weapon. And that's him complete. That's him in all his glory, really. I'll just straighten that up to make him a bit more symmetrical. Oops, I've seen that's come out again, a little missile. I'll pick that up in a second. They seem to be quite sensitive, those. I'm going to try and just get them so that they are roughly in the same place. Anybody can do that to sort of fire them. I'm not going to pick that up on the floor. You can see what he looks like, can't you? Alright, so that's G1 Tracks. One of the better ones. He appeared in Series 2, not Series 1. And there is no remold of him. He was never remolded into anything else, although the original Diaclone version of him was red, not blue. But nonetheless, a very good character and a very good figure. So I'm going to leave that one there, guys. Thanks very much for watching this one. Another review coming up shortly. G1 Autobot Tracks.